What a guest we have here on Radio Row with us, Tony Khan. Tony, how are you?
I'm well, Zach. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. I have to ask you, when you look at an event like this with Radio Row, with all the biggest personalities that sports media has to offer, does it get you excited a little bit about what you could potentially do with AEW?
It does. It gets me very excited. One of the most amazing things here, the NFL is the most powerful media organization in the world, the most well-organized business I've ever seen. And being a part of the NFL, I've learned so much, but also being here at Super Bowl Radio Row and nonstop, people are asking me about AEW too. And then in the Jaguars, we've had one of the most amazing seasons. The future's so bright, so being here to represent both, it's amazing. But definitely, it's got me excited about AEW and seeing how much we've grown, because everywhere I go, people want to talk about it here.
Being one of the owners for the Jaguars, and we'll get to their season in a little bit, what are some of those things that you've taken away from an ownership perspective and the NFL side that you've been able to bring to AEW?
Well, I think from a marketing perspective, the NFL is the most well-organized business, as I said, in terms of promoting live events and television. So I've learned a lot. I've made a lot of relationships and connections. It helped me make connections in Hollywood that led to me being able to help start a wrestling promotion, help found a wrestling promotion, AEW. Now we're on Wednesday every week, live on TBS, Wednesday Night Dynamite, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We've done 175 episodes right now, and we're coming off what a lot of people think is the best run of shows we've done. And right now, the feedback's amazing. And we also have Friday Night Rampage coming up on TNT. It's Friday as we tape this, and we got a big show tonight on TNT at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 p.m. Central every week there. And also what's really cool is with the NFL, seeing like a lot of the big stars. I've had a lot of the football players, not just with the Jaguars, but football players from all over the league are fans of AEW. We've seen it. You know, George Kittle on the 49ers is a great example. Every time he makes a catch and he does Penta El Zero Miedo. And we have great engagement from NFL and sports all over the world, because wrestling is so big, and AEW is right there in the conversation anytime you want to talk about pro wrestling.
Last AEW question for you. I saw recently it was announced that you're performing your non-live TV shows now. Are house shows going to become more common?
Well, we've got a great business, and now we've got a great thing going on TV every week with TNT on Wednesdays, TNT on Fridays. But in addition to the TBS on Wednesdays, the TNT on Fridays, and the big pay-per-view events like Revolution March 5th in San Francisco, we also have live events now that are non-televised, not on pay-per-view. It has not been a part of the business model before. We tried it in 2021 during the lockdown. I did a house show with our head of live events, Raphael Morphy. We put together with our team, The House Always Wins, and it was hugely successful. And then when we got back on the road, as we have been for over a year and a half, almost 2 years now, doing live events again every week in different cities nonstop, there are some markets we still haven't been able to get to every week and we want to hit, and we thought it was a great way to bring AEW and also give the young wrestlers experiences. So March 18th in Troy, Ohio, we have AEW House Rules, which is going to be a great event in so many ways, a milestone as we set out, and we'll do more House Rules events, more house shows. And I think it's another great part of the business model in many ways for AEW, the wrestlers, the whole team, and the fans.
Now from the mat to the gridiron, the Jags brought in Doug Peterson at the beginning of the season, and obviously it got you guys a spot into the playoffs. What's something you've learned from Coach Doug?
Well, Doug Peterson, working with him is one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. Doug is such a great leader. He brings not only his football mind, Doug is one of the best play callers, and also in terms of game management, Doug's one of the most brilliant people. And what I do is football statistics and analytics. This is my 12th season working in football analytics in the NFL, and Doug brings the best leadership I've ever seen, because players respect Doug's mind, but also Doug's such a great person. Everybody wants to play with him and work, being able to work with him and have these opportunities like the Jaguars had this year. And you saw that led the team to come from behind time after time, including in the wild card playoff, including to clinch the AFC South Championship. And I think that's why we can really build for the future with the great young players we have. We have Trevor Lawrence and a lot of bright young stars on offense, a great young defense and special teams, and Doug Peterson, who I think is, to me, one of the best minds in football, certainly in my lifetime.
So you'll go through the offseason, you'll go through the draft, and then the preseason, and then The football season will come around before we even know it. What needs to happen for next season for you guys to look back and say the 2023 season was a success?
Well, I think we have to keep building on what we did last year. The Jags, we didn't start as well as we could have. We didn't win all the close games, but then came from behind so much later, and I think we learned from it. So it ended up being adversity that I think helped the team get stronger. We were 2-6 at one point. We were 3-7. And then the team went on an amazing run, and Doug Peterson's leadership was so steadfast. He never stopped believing. He said this is going to come down to the last week of the season, the Titans, Week 18 for the AFC South Championship. And when the team's 3-7 or 2-6, who would believe such things, but on the other hand, everyone in the room, everyone in the locker room, and everyone in the team believed it. And Doug really kept the thing together and led us there. So I have so much credit to him, and I think that's, if we can keep building on that with Doug, and we have a great core of young players, Trevor Lawrence and everyone around him, we can keep building on the success that we had this year, and that would be a great 2023 for the Jaguars.
Well, Tony, thank you so much, and continued success.
Thank you, Zach. Great to see you.
Appreciate it.